Imagine it's 11,000 years ago. The ocean is rising. A great city is sinking. And nobody survives to tell the story. Somewhere beneath the waves, buried under centuries of silence, lies the answer to history's greatest mystery. A city so advanced, so powerful, so enormous, that when it vanished, it took an entire civilization with it. We have searched the ocean floors, we have decoded ancient texts, we have used satellite imaging from space. And what we found, hidden beneath the water, beneath the sand, beneath the lies, will change everything you believe. What if Atlantis was never a myth? What if it was a memory? A memory so painful, humanity chose to forget it? What if the greatest civilization ever built was erased, not by time, but by something far more terrifying? And what if the proof has been sitting right in front of us for thousands of years, and we simply refuse to see it? Today, we are going to see it. Every clue, every discovery, every impossible piece of evidence, all of it. Together. To the true story of Atlantis, the city that should not exist, but almost certainly did. Here is your first question. Plato wrote about Atlantis in 360 BC. He described it with precise measurements and coordinates. He named the ocean it sat in. He described its rings of water and land. He gave its exact population size. No ancient writer invents a story with engineering blueprints. You invent dragons. You do not invent drainage systems. So either Plato was history's greatest fiction writer, or he was recording something real that someone told him. Second question. Why do over 200 ancient cultures from Egypt to the Aztecs all tell the same flood story? Different continents, different languages, different gods, but the same memory. A great civilization, destroyed by water. Third question. Why does the ocean floor off the coast of Spain show a perfect circular city formation beneath the mud? Fourth question. Why did ancient Greek, Egyptian, and Mayan calendars all reset at the same point in history? Something happened. Something so catastrophic it reset human memory across every corner of the ancient world simultaneously. And if you want to know what that something was, stay with us, because this is where the story truly begins. If you love uncovering history's greatest secrets, secrets they never taught you in school, subscribe right now, hit the bell, because what comes next in this video will be the most important history lesson you have ever watched. Chapter 1. The Man Who Remembered Atlantis. His name was Plato, and he was not writing fiction. Plato was the most respected philosopher in ancient Greece. His words were treated as scientific and historical truth. In 360 BC, he wrote two texts, Timaeus and Critias, and inside those pages, he described Atlantis in extraordinary detail. He said Atlantis lay beyond the Pillars of Hercules, what we now call the Strait of Gibraltar, in the Atlantic Ocean. He described a circular island, rings of ocean and land alternating perfectly, a royal palace at the very center. He said it was larger than Libya and Asia combined, a continent-sized empire that dominated the ancient world completely. It had hot and cold running water, bridges, ports, a canal system, an army of 1 million soldiers, a navy of thousands. These are not the details of a myth. These are the details of an engineer's report, a historian's archive, a memory. Plato said he received this story from his ancestor Solon, who received it from Egyptian priests in the city of Sais. Those priests told Solon that Athens itself had once fought Atlantis in a great war, and won, before both civilizations fell. The Egyptians kept records that went back further than Greek civilization. They remembered what Greece had forgotten entirely. And what they remembered was this: Atlantis was real, it was powerful, and it was destroyed in a single catastrophic day. Chapter 2. The evidence hidden beneath the ocean. In 2004, a team of researchers made an extraordinary discovery. Using satellite imaging and underwater sonar, they mapped the seafloor just off the southern coast of Spain near Cadiz. What they found stunned the entire team. Circular formations, massive, perfect, buried under 30 feet of Atlantic mud. The rings matched Plato's description almost exactly, concentric circles of land and water. The same dimensions he recorded. Lead researcher Dr. Richard Freund from the University of Hartford announced, this could be the real site of Atlantis. The mainstream academic world went silent. No serious funding was approved. No major excavation was ever authorized. But the images existed. The sonar data existed. The circular formations beneath that mud still exist there today. And they are not alone. Similar underwater structures have been found near the Azores Islands, right in the Atlantic Ocean. Stone walls, pyramid-shaped formations, roads that lead directly into the deep ocean, all carbon dated to thousands of years ago. If these structures are man-made, and the evidence suggests they are, then someone built them before the ocean rose. The Ice Age flood that changed everything. Here's the science that connects every single piece of evidence. Approximately 11,600 years ago, the last Ice Age ended. And it did not end slowly. It ended with catastrophic violence. Glaciers the size of continents melted within decades. Sea levels rose by over 400 feet in a geologically instant moment. Entire coastlines vanished beneath the ocean. Islands disappeared. Low-lying civilizations were swallowed by rising water permanently. This is not theory. This is accepted geological science. The ocean rose, massively, rapidly, exactly when Plato said it happened. Plato dated Atlantis' destruction to 9,600 BC. Scientists date the Great Meltwater Flood to 9,600 BC. Exactly. That is not coincidence. That is correlation so precise it demands serious investigation, and it has been largely ignored. The survivors of that flood, if any civilization existed, would have fled inland. They would have been called gods. They would have brought knowledge of agriculture, architecture, astronomy, and mathematics to primitive inland communities everywhere. And suddenly, every ancient civilization appears almost simultaneously, already knowing things they had no time to develop alone. Chapter 4. The mysterious similarities that cannot be explained. Look at this fact and try to explain it rationally. The ancient Egyptians and the ancient Mayans, separated by an entire ocean, both built massive pyramid structures simultaneously. Both civilizations worshipped the sun. Both had advanced astronomical calendars. Both practiced mummification of their dead. Both encoded mathematical knowledge into their architecture that modern engineers still struggle to fully understand and replicate today. How? How do two civilizations with zero contact develop identical technologies, identical beliefs, and identical building methods? The answer that mainstream history gives is coincidence, independent development, parallel evolution of ideas across separate continents. But there is another answer, one that fits every single piece of evidence. A shared source, a mother civilization. Atlantis. A civilization so advanced that its survivors, scattered across the world by the Great Flood, seeded every ancient culture simultaneously. They arrived as strangers, they were worshipped as gods, and they carried the memory of a world that no longer existed. That memory survived in myths, in pyramids, in flood stories, in calendars, in the obsession every ancient culture had with the sea. Chapter 5. The location. Where was Atlantis really? 3 serious candidates have emerged from decades of research and excavation. Candidate 1. The Atlantic Ocean near the Azores. The seafloor here contains submerged plateaus that were once dry land, underwater mountains, ancient lava formations, and structures that look disturbingly like roads and walls built by human hands. Candidate 2. The Mediterranean Sea near Santorini, Greece, a volcanic island that exploded violently around 1600 BC. The Minoan civilization, the most advanced Bronze Age culture in Europe, was completely destroyed by that single eruption overnight. Candidate 3. And the most compelling, the mudflats off southern Spain near the Doñana National Park near Cadiz. This location matches Plato's geographic description more precisely than any other site ever proposed by any researcher anywhere, beyond the Pillars of Hercules, near a great plain, surrounded by mountains to the north, facing the Atlantic Ocean directly, and buried beneath the mud. Those perfect circular formations that satellites and sonar have captured but nobody will excavate. The Spanish government has classified the Doñana area as a protected nature reserve. No excavation is legally permitted there. Protected from development or protected from discovery? That question alone should keep you awake at night thinking deeply. Chapter 6. What Atlantis tells us about ourselves. This is not just about a lost city. This is about who we really are. If Atlantis existed, if an advanced civilization was wiped out 11,600 years ago, then human history is far older than taught. It means we have risen and fallen before. It means collapse is not something that happens to weak civilizations. It happens to great ones. It means the knowledge we are so proud of today, our science, our cities, our technology may have existed once before and been lost. And it means the greatest lesson of Atlantis is not where it was, it is the warning of what destroyed it, and whether we are listening.